Hello, my mindful meal preppers. My name is Em, and this is Life's Table. We are going to finish off this week with a delicious and slightly healthy version of one of my favorite snacks, spinach and artichoke dip. Trying to get rid of this leftover yogurt that we have, trying to get rid of the heavy cream as well. We are finishing off with, we are now at like peak stress. I'm freaking out. What do? I need to have a serious self-intervention to like keep me from going over the edge. And so we're going to talk about a handful of techniques to implement when you are feeling like you have completely lost control and you are careening. So without further ado, we tie back our hair if we have to. We put on an apron if we got one, and we'll get cooking good looking. There's a lot to be learned today at Life's Table. Go ahead and we start by preheating our ovens. I guess it could come together on a stovetop pretty well. You would just need a good solid skillet to assemble it and have the cheese melt and things like that. And you would not get like that nice crispy crust over the top of it. But a stovetop assembly will still get you nice warm spinach and artichoke dip, which is what we're looking for. I'm going to bring out my colander and I'm going to start by cutting open and throwing in about half of this 12-ounce bag of spinach, which is, if you're wondering, like about 2 cups of spinach. I'm actually going to not waste so much water, and we'll put it in here. Let the water heat up just a touch so that it's actually hot. While I wait for this to heat up, because it's taking a long time, I'm going to break out my nice large saucepan, set this over medium-low heat. Water's getting hot now, that's good. Fill up this bowl. And while this heats, I'm going to open up and drain my artichokes. And I'm also going to drain them in here. As delicious as the artichoke juices are, it's not great for this dish because the more liquid you have, the less gooey it is and the more runny it is, and that's not really fun for like dipping. While our ovens preheat and while we let these things drain, I'm now going to chop up the remaining third of the onion that I have. And now is a good time, I guess, to get started with high stress management techniques. We want the onion into like nice, small, very fine little pieces. The first technique that I want to discuss, and again, these are techniques and ways to regain control when it feels like our body is not under our control anymore. We are in the throes of heart racing, breathing has changed, temperature of my body has changed. I feel like I could fight somebody or cry or run away. It is base reflex, make it stop mode. Many of the ways that I'm going to talk to you about involve you actively putting those thoughts to the side and focusing entirely on the body. So we'll start with a body scan, which leads very well into progressive muscle relaxation. I've got my 2 cloves of garlic here. Let me throw this away. So body scanning, essentially it is in these moments of freaking out, being like, okay, my body is screaming right now. Let me listen to it. What are my toes doing? How do they feel? Are they hot? Are they cold? Are they tingling? Are they numb? Are they clammy? Is there tension? Not necessarily in the toes, but when we are stressed out, a lot of us do tend to carry tension in our bodies, and they like almost as like a physical manifestation of us holding that stress. You'll see a lot of people in the shoulders. A lot of people, without even realizing it, will have these like really tensed, tight shoulders, and all you want to do to them is go up to them and be like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Just put them down. Just put them down. Just put down. Relax the shoulders. Relax them. Release that tension, okay? Do it. Because we can't All right, tension in our necks, tension in the backs. And grabbing a garlic press. Give these a quick mince. It is going in through the body scan and saying, okay, body, I am listening. Tell me what you're saying. Tell me what you're communicating. And noticing the subtleties, all right? And once we finish checking in with our toes, we move on to our feet and our ankles and our calves and shins and knees. And we just gradually, we work our way up our body. And it's the same sorts of questions. What is this part of my body doing? Is my knee, because all of my weight is on one hip, one leg right now, is my knee feeling like hyper flexed? Do I need to adjust and adapt and shift? And we're not necessarily trying to really change anything unless you're like, okay, maybe there's some tension here and let's release some of that tension. I'm not trying to change the fact that my toes are currently cold on my tile floor. I'm just noticing. When we do notice tension, that is where progressive muscle relaxation comes in. And what that is, I'm going to just test this water really quick. Ooh, nice and hot. Let's go. Perfect. I'm going to add in my olive oil. We add in our onion and garlic. I'm going to start taking out my spinach, because at this point it is fully thawed. Pour out the water, and I'm going to start pressing this water out. Squeezing as much of the water out of this spinach as possible. And once we've gotten a good squeeze to get all that water out, I'm going to drop it in here. Again, the intent is to dry out as much as possible. Get as much liquid out as possible. So the heat and the sauteing onions and the sauteing spinach will help with that. Break up the pieces that we just clumped together. I'm going to add some salt and some pepper, and same thing with my artichokes. I'm just going to give these a good press and squeeze before giving them a very rough chop. We're going to cut them essentially in half, not even. All right. And this is coming together great. Give this another stir. And I'm going to rough chop the artichoke hearts so that the heart itself is separated from the leaves, whatever the separated parts are. And then for the heart, we'll cut the heart itself in half. Moving back to progressive muscle relaxation, then when I notice tension, or perhaps when I don't, maybe I'm just going to give my whole body a shot at this. When we don't even notice that we are carrying that tension in our shoulders, in our necks, in our backs, in wherever it is that we hold our tension, by going and focusing on that part of the body and intentionally tensing more, and then with a deep breath out, forcing a relax, we then will notice a significant change in our posture, if it's the back, a significant loosening in the neck, if it's the tension. And you can do this with any part of the body. Flex those toes, really scrunch them up as hard as you can. I'm doing it right now. And then relax them and feel how they do feel different as they realign and relax into the floor. That is progressive muscle relaxation. And also the body scan. A lot of times it is combined. Let me notice what's going on. Let me flex to assess and check for tension. And then let me nice and relax. Keep giving this a stir so we get a nice, good mix of our artichoke parts broken up into those little layers, into those little pieces. Separate them when possible. Same thing too with our spinach. And I am going to now leave it on the heat, but I am going to turn the heat off because I'm seeing less and less moisture on the bottom of this pan. So we'll let it continue to cook, but we're going to move on to take out a bowl. You want a cup of this yogurt. All right. Another way to regain control of your body is doing intense exercise, forcing that heart rate to get elevated, forcing it to get high, to start pounding, forcing that breathing to increase and increase significantly will give an outlet for what's happening, because odds are your heart is already pounding. It's already experiencing some intense breathing. But not only will it do that, it helps with the calming down afterwards as well. Two things happen when we have intense exercise. I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of this heavy whipping cream just because, again, I need to get rid of it, so might as well. Not only does the exercise release endorphins, right, those happy hormones to help counteract what is stressing you out and what is causing this very strong response, negative response. But again, on that calm down, your heart's not going to stay elevated. It's going to woo-saw and calm down with you. So whatever is triggering that stress, it will still be there. It'll still be stressful to you, but it's not going to have that intense response that it was having before, because you're more tired now and you're going to calm down. This is kind of like do at your own discretion. But for those overwhelming moments of I'm freaking out, which I hope are few and far between, but they do happen, I've noticed that with time, when I'm having a day like that, my body has started to tell me, you need to go for a run. And not just like a little jog. You need to go for a run. And it's because I've been practicing this that in those moments of intense stress, I now crave it, which is insane, and I hear it, but it's true. I'm going to add just a touch of tomato paste, just because it'll be absolutely delicious in this, so why not? I'm going to add in the remainder of my Parmesan, and I want half of my block of cheese as well to go into this. I'm going to use the thick side because I don't think it actually makes all that big of a difference. Cut off the top here. We're going to move on to grounding. Very, very similar to like the body scanning, and you can use grounding techniques with body scans as well. But if you are focusing too much on the body and the body is not telling you nice things and you can't seem to break yourself of what's going on and how it's making you feel and you're still freaking out, focus on something else. Literally force your mind off of what's going on. It's about a cup. Yep. So we're going to open this up into here. Oops. And have it spill out all over our counter anyway. So instead of focusing on my body or focusing on the overwhelming thoughts and emotions that are swirling in my brain right now, I'm going to heat up a mug of water and hold the mug of water and focus all of my energy and attention on the way that this mug is making me feel. The warmth that is traveling up my fingertips, through my hands, into like my forearms and the rest of my body. I am going to put on soothing, calming music that will help me to focus on the lyrics and focus less on what's going on inside my head. I am going to do like a meditative tap on my fingertips, and I'm going to feel as I tap on my fingertips the rhythm, the pace, and by focusing on that, it takes my attention off of what is causing this hyper intense stress and just forces your mind on other things. That's probably a little bit more than a 1/4 cup of Parmesan, but like more Parmesan I don't think has ever hurt anybody. That's going in. We give everything a nice mix. All right, I'm going to give this one final mix. We're gonna, we're gonna spill it all over our floor. You give this a stir to combine. We grab our circular pie tins, and I'm going to just plop this directly in while we move on to the last one, which is called activating our dive reflex. Our dive reflex, and this is gonna sound crazy, but it is what kicks in when we think that we are drowning. Our body, when experiencing oxygen deprivation, as if we are not just underwater, but underwater for prolonged periods of time, our body goes into like energy saving mode. essentially, right? In the same way that like your phones do when they're on low battery, our bodies do the same thing, but with oxygen and oxygen conservation. We go into energy conservation mode and specifically oxygen preservation mode, okay? When we are underwater for more than like 30 seconds. When you're in the throes of, I'm freaking out, I'm careening out of control, there is nothing, no outside intervention can do to prevent this train from crashing. We're going down. I'm freaking out. Bridges are burning, so on and so forth. The act of submerging our faces in cold water for just about 30 seconds, that in and of itself is enough to kick in, okay, I need to calm down. The more that I freak out, the more oxygen is getting used, and I am making myself believe that oxygen is in limited supply at this point. When I send my body into that, you need to calm down, override. By submerging in this cold water, I am lowering the temperature. I'm depriving the oxygen. And what that does is activates our vagus nerve, which is responsible for things like blood flow. Our blood vessels will constrict, our heart rate will slow down, and thus we override our own heart racing, pounding, freaking out sort of reaction that we're having. It induces a sense of calm because we think we're drowning, and the way that we preserve ourselves in those situations is by calming down. This is really to be used in case of a I can't calm down any other way sort of reaction. You're welcome to test it out. You are welcome to try it, but please use it sparingly. This is not one of those, this is my new go-to stress management technique. That's not what it's intended for. That's not what it's used for. And you're going to potentially like hurt yourself in having this be the default. It is, in case of emergency, break glass. This is my break the glass technique. This is gorgeous. I'm going to put it in the oven for about 15 minutes just so that the cheese melts and gets nice and bubbly and everything gets hot. You can serve with bread. You can serve with crackers. You can serve with vegetables. But yeah, I sincerely hope that you never get to the point that you need to break glass in case of an emergency, that you don't ever have to encounter stress to that extreme, to that level. But in case you do, I don't want to leave you hanging. I don't want to leave you without a parachute. So test these out. Again, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you. Try it out, both as a practice and perhaps in the real moment. Let me know what works for you and what doesn't work for you, why you think it works for you and why it doesn't perhaps work for you. But yeah, with that, we have covered stress management techniques for every level of stress. We're just about finished with this month, so we're going to do a bit of a review next week of everything that we've covered, which has been so much information. But until then, thank you for taking care of you. I hope you enjoy. Bon appetit. Hi. So it's later the same day, and I, like a dingus, did not eat lunch, skipped a meal. The day just kind of got away from me. So now I'm just going to dip into this because I'm famished, and I'm ready to try it. Holy crap, that's good. Wow. There's something about tomato paste in this that really just, for me, enhances the flavor, and I'm very glad that I added it in. And I hope that you are too. Pass. I'm recording. You look so good right now. Oh, I got a handsome partner right now. Dang, okay. Oh, you look good. You got a haircut. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoy. Thank you for taking care of you. This is delicious. I'm going to have so much more of it. Have a great day.